If this show's entertaining, you should consider that lucky. Hello, friends.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to
your dog.
user-friendly episode 75. Hi.
Hey.
We're recording a show. I'm your co-host, Erfan Elijah. You might know me from the Cultcast podcast. I'm here with my friend
Roberto Hoyos from Throwboy.com. Sponsored by Throwboy.com.
Sponsored by Throwboy.com. Makers of Throwboy.com.
Pull out some money in my pocket, put it back in.
You really want to come up here bad, don't you? I can tell. Well, User Friendly, of course, is the podcast where we talk about all things geek, our favorite stuff on the web, and our favorite tech.
Yeah.
I almost forgot one. It's so hard to remember all three.
They're all the same. It's just the same thing a couple different ways.
We talk about all things tech, our favorite tech on the web, and the geekiest tech.
And internet.
And internet tech. And this is Penny. She'll probably go to sleep here in a minute. Hi. Oh, yeah, you're sleepy, huh?
And
how are you?
I'm good. I got some caffeine.
Me too. Clink.
You copied me.
Somebody watched, one of my friends was watching the show, and it was what episode ago were we actually drinking?
Last episode.
It was the last episode.
Yeah.
We had these really tall Millers.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're really drunk. And she was like, oh my gosh, you guys were so drunk that whole episode.
Yeah, most people did think we were like wasted.
Really, we were
drunk.
not drunk. That was the only, that was a sarcasm veil on my part. That was the only beer that we had.
But I think it gave like this perception of us being way funnier than we were.
Were we pretty funny?
Because people told us, or people tweeted, you guys should do that more often.
We should drink.
We should, but this guy likes
We
to record on
should
Sunday,
drink.
and then he has to get up in the freaking early morning.
Yeah, I know.
And then we can't do it.
It's hard to
Whose
drink.
fault is it? Yours.
It's hard to drink when you have things that you need to do.
Kinda. You
I
just
like
have to be a responsible adult.
I can't.
And-
I either have 10 beers or I have no beers. A one beer for me is a very rare occasion. I'm like Leander Caney. I have all the beers.
You either go dick out or nothing at all.
We would go to these. We go to CES. It's funny, right? Because it's all the team from Cultimat gathered together, and we don't ever get to see each other.
You just like free drinks.
I do like free drinks. Yeah, but
That's why he drank last time, because I brought it to him.
But when I'm no. If I have stuff to do authentically, authentically.
Genuinely.
Generically. I don't like to drink. Generically speaking, I don't like to drink.
Figuratively.
Because I like to have a few drinks, and I don't want to feel like crap the next day. And when we go to these press events at CES, everything's free, right? And Leander, he's like, I'm only going to have one drink tonight. And we're all like, yeah, right. You're only going to have one drink tonight. All right. And then he has 20.
You can't though, man, because like that's where the networking goes down usually.
Yeah.
And you have to get that lube happening before you're gonna start talking to people. Cause right, you're always gonna be in your little crowd, and then you're gonna like get drinking enough to be able
especially
to go
with
talk
tech
to
people, because a lot of tech people can be so hard to talk to.
Yeah, reserved, right?
And very reserved. The hard part though is when you're writing and you're publishing stuff, it's hard to do that when you're drinking. So I just don't drink until I'm ready, until the end of the week, and I'm like, I'm done. If I only had to do the Cultcast, and that was my only responsibility there,
I'd just be drunk all day.
I'd be drunk 24/7 at that show. It'd be great. Every night, I would be drinking like 20 beers.
Bottom line, we should do it more often because it could be fun. Technically, we had only drank one beer. It was pretty much warm by the end of the episode.
For the record, yeah, it was. Anywho, skis.
Right. So, what's our first story?
Well, big news this week.
Yeah.
If you follow me on Twitter, I'm sorry that I spammed her.
I muted you for the rest of the week
Because I was pissed, and I realized I'm going to be in the minority on this argument. So Xbox came out with the Xbox One. Not a perfect console by any means. It was very controversial that they were basically moving to an all-digital license. So even if you bought a disc, that disc still had to be activated, and that license that you were activating was kind of like a single-use thing. And people were pissed at that. They weren't going to be able to like buy and sell discs like they do now. And after a lot of Reddit memes and a lot of people bitching who didn't even really know like what the features were going to be, Xbox reneged and they said, forget about all that stuff that we were talking about, all the DRM, all the 24-hour check-ins that your Xbox is going to need to do on the internet. We're going to make it exactly like 360. And the discs are going to have the games on them. If you want to play a game, you have to put the disc in, and the disc has to be in the console if you want to play. And then if you want to sell the disc, you can sell the disc. And I'm one of the only people who thinks that going back to the model that we're on now is a really horrid idea.
Okay.
Do you know anything about the Xbox One, like features or anything like that?
I mean, I know about the console, but I'd been sort of murky on what the DRM thing is about.
Okay, so let me just kind of outline it broadly.
Yeah.
DRM was a major part of the Xbox One because the games are all digital, right? So whenever there's a digital product, there has to be DRM because otherwise no one pays for anything. It all just ends up on the Pirate Bay and we all get everything for free. So the way your Xbox was going to work is it had to be connected to the internet constantly. So, and actually I take that back. It needed to be connected to the internet once per 24 hours if you wanted to play games that you'd purchased. And the games that you'd purchase digitally or the games that you'd purchase on discs did not matter. They were all the exact same product. And the only reason I think they were selling discs is because not everyone has a fast enough connection to download a 10 gigabyte game. So they had to give you a disc so that you could install the game on your hard drive. All games had to be installed on your hard drive to play. So your Xbox, in order to check your license to make sure that you had a license to the game, had to connect at least once every 24 hours. And it only had to be for a split second. All it does is it pings Microsoft servers and says, here are all the games this person has. Does he still have access? And the reason that it had to do that was because Microsoft was giving people the ability to resell those digital games. So if I sold the game to you and then I disconnected my Xbox from the internet, I could play the game and you could play the game. So that's why they had to make it so that you have to check your license so that if Xbox knows that I sold the game to you, it disables the game for me. That way, one copy of the game, you know.
But you would have to go in there and disable it, right?
Disable what?
The game, if you sold it to me, because otherwise I'd put it in and it wouldn't do anything, right?
Well, this is one of the things they hadn't fully fleshed out.
Automatically kick over to the different console?
It would automatically. So they tied the games to your Xbox Live account.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like how apps in the App Store work now.
Oh, so you have to sign in and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be signed in, but they didn't really explain how this is going to work. There were going to be authorized resellers. So if I bought a game and I wanted to sell it to you, they said I would be able to give a game to you and it would cost nothing. Or I had to go to one of these authorized resellers. And I don't know how that was going to work. None of us do because they didn't get a chance to explain it.
Right.
And then they would have to transfer the license to you. And they would probably most likely charge a fee to do that.
Okay, so, but I thought you just said they told everyone to forget about all this.
They did. So that's all the bad stuff. And this is what everyone's been focusing on. Let me talk about the good stuff that this model that they just got rid of brought. Number one, you didn't need to put a game into your Xbox any longer. And the Kinect is always listening to you. So you come in, you say Xbox on, it's instantaneously turned on. Launch Call of Duty Black Ops, boom, it automatically launches it. You could be doing it from halfway across the room. By the time you get to your couch, it's ready for you to play. Now, you can't do that unless you buy a game digitally because the disc needs to be in. So now the digital license is tied to the disc, just like it is now. The other big thing is they had announced these family share plans. I personally think this was a major wink from Microsoft, like, hey, you're going to be able to share games with your friends and family. They didn't say friends, they said family only, but from the interviews I've read, they were going to let you define who your family members were. They were not going to control that whatsoever. So that means if I bought a game, I could say, Roberto's my family member. You go and you launch your Xbox One, and you can access any of the games in my shared library and play them.
Okay.
Pretty cool, right? And especially for families.
It's cool for people, but it sucks for devs.
Well, I mean, it does suck for devs, but in the same regard, Microsoft was giving them the option of churning off used game sales. So I could sell a digital game to you unless the developer was like, no, we're not going to allow that. and then in which case, once you buy a digital game, it's yours forever. By the way, that's the model now, and that's the model we're sticking with.
Okay, so now what's the problem?
The problem is that when they got rid of DRM, they got rid of the cool features that we were going to get, like the family share plan, gone. Playing games without disc in, gone. Which pretty much eliminates like the instant on aspect of it, which I thought was really cool.
And that makes it so you personally would you start to download games, or are you just gonna keep buying them?
Well, I don't know, because before, if you bought a digital game, you could resell it or you could give it away.
Yeah.
And now,
how do you resell a digital game?
Well, you had to go to one of those authorized retailers, but it probably would have been only a matter of time before they let you do it on eBay.
How?
Because when you did it, they would transfer the license from my machine to my account to your account.
Oh, okay.
And the other cool thing is they were making it so that all your stuff lived in the cloud. So if I were to go to your house and I was like, hey, I just bought this new game, I go to your house, sign into your console under my name, and we can play any game that I owned.
Can you do that now?
No, you have to have the disc. So yes, but you have to have the disc.
Or any games that you downloaded. Like my cousin did it. He downloaded Street Fighter 4 or something like that.
Did he?
And he came and he logged in.
And then it let you download it and play it?
Yeah, but as soon as he left, because he went back to Michigan, I don't have his login, so I just deleted his account and I couldn't go back into it.
Right. So I think if you do it with digital games, I've never tried that, but it sounds like then it works. Then you could still do it with digital games. The other big thing is, and we'll never know if this is true, is I think Microsoft was making a big push to lower the price of games. I honestly think that. Because they were going to eliminate at least partially, the used game market. And when everyone's paying for games, if used games aren't allowed as much, then they can start having, more sales. They can lower the price of the games. That's very controversial. Who knows if it actually would have happened.
Yeah.
I still think that Microsoft was trying to do the right thing. A lot of people really distrust Microsoft now because they think they were trying to work in the publisher's best interest. I don't think they were trying to do that. I honestly think they were trying to make everything better, and they did a really bad job communicating all the new features and telling the narrative. They were building I like to say it was a Steam-like console, right? So it's Steam. It's digital licenses on a console, a Steam box, if you will, even though that's a whole nother product. I think they were trying to build that, but they didn't tell a good story, and because they waited so long to really define all the cool features we were going to get by moving in this very future thinking way, people got pissed. They started speculating what was going to happen, and by the time we hit E3, everyone was in a rage. They're like, Microsoft is the worst company ever, right? Oh my gosh, they're trying to take away our used games. They're trying to rip us off. They're trying to do this, trying to do that. There's so much misinformation out there now that Microsoft was just like, screw it. We're just going to go with the model.
I don't know, man. Speaking from a casual gamer, very casual, I probably play a game a week.
Yep.
Once a week, I'll turn on my Xbox and play something. I feel like the general public is not going to notice or care,
Maybe not.
I think this is a nerd fight, and people are up in arms, but we're talking about people that are using Reddit. I don't think that and I know this is our audience, but I think that the Xbox is aiming more towards a wider audience than something like the PS4 is, I mean, I do think that it's going to appeal to gamers, but I think it's also going to appeal, well, maybe a little while down the line, once the price goes down, people will start using it as a replacement set-top box and whatever. So I don't know. All that stuff, I mean, I understand it, but I'm still just okay, months from now, I'm not going to care or even realize what was that.
No, you probably won't. I mean, but the model they were trying to adopt is the same model Apple has for their App Store, Mac and iOS. It's the same model Android has. It's the same model Steam has. It's the same model Windows Phone has. I mean, and people get that, right? I mean, you purchase a product digitally, and you don't get to resell it. You get to just hang on to it forever once you own it. And Microsoft was saying, hey, not only are you going to be able to buy it and use it digitally, but you can resell it.
Yeah.
We're giving you that option. And people were like, no, we don't believe you. We want to have a disc to ensure that we can go to GameStop, which, by the way, if you're shopping at GameStop, you are the problem. You are the problem. GameStop is a terrible company.
Why?
They make their living ripping off teenagers.
Yeah.
They buy a game, you buy a game brand new, $60. You go in there the next day and they're like, oh, $10.
Yeah.
Right? And then they sell it for $55. And then I hear people defending GameStop. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. They are raping you and you know that. And now you're defending GameStop? I hate GameStop. I hope they do go out of business. Because they're terrible. I mean, they make their money by ripping people off.
Yeah, that seems like it would be. You're right, though. Now that I think about it, it's sort of like, why is that still around? This needs to progressively go out the same way Blockbuster went out, right?
Yeah.
So.
And I'm sure some of you out there disagree. This is America. Well, I don't know where you're living.
I know
actually.
one of y'all disagrees.
Yeah, so you guys like GameStop, and you're like, I just want to go buy cheap games because I buy games 2 or 3 years after they come out.
Yeah.
Great. That's great. I just choose not to do business with them because I don't like their business model. If I buy a game, I try to buy it from a person. I'll use Craigslist, I'll use eBay, and that way the person who I'm buying it from is actually getting the money. But, some people just don't want to hassle. They just want to trade in their crap and have it be easy.
Yeah.
And I get that. That's just not the way I like to do things. So, in any case, I know a lot of people were really excited that Microsoft reneged. I think that they cowered. I think that they caved too early. I think they should have stuck to their guns. Their model was good. It wasn't perfect. It needed to be changed, but I don't think it needed to be thrown out. And that's what they did. And that, I think, is tragic because they were building a modern console, and now we're gonna have an Xbox, version 2, 360 version 2, and there's just nothing really there that really is exciting about the current model. The current model's been around for 15 years. Well, probably not 15. Well, no, the Sega Saturn was disc-based, wasn't it?
Was it?
Sega Saturn? I thought it was.
You mean the Dreamcast?
Maybe I do mean the Dreamcast.
Probably.
Anyway, that was like, what, 15 years ago? 20 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
So putting a disc in to your console to have to play a game, to me, is paramount to, hey, let me put this floppy disk in, close the little thing.
We can get like a CD changer for all our games.
Yeah, that's what Microsoft needs to sell, is a CD changer, right? That's the way to go. That way you don't have to get up to put your disc in.
Yeah.
And then they need the game man, so you can put the game in your thing and take it with you on the go.
For on the go action.
Yeah, for on the go action. It has a little screen that tethers off of it. Oh man, I just been really frustrated because I read these people's comments, and right now the cool thing is to flame Xbox and flame Microsoft.
Xbox
And I think
180.
Yeah, the Xbox 180, and I just think it's so ironic that here I am defending them. I'm the contrarian in this argument.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just don't even know what they were getting. They're just jumping on the bandwagon. They're like, oh yeah, you suck. I see all these idiots on the Xbox Facebook page, like just leaving rude comments and stuff, and I'm just like, these people are idiots. They don't even know what they're talking about. They didn't read anything. They're just like, yeah, Microsoft trying to steal my rights. Screw you, Microsoft. Hope you burn in hell.
GameStop forever.
I sold my 360 already, and I'm gonna buy a PS4.
I sold it to GameStop and got $50.
Yeah, GameStop give me
that.
$20, and I'm gonna use that for my PS4. $20 in credit. Screw you, Microsoft.
Wow, that's a lot of credit.
Yeah, it was double credit day. They went on double credit day. Yeah. And then they sold it for $120. Let's talk about the PS4 for a second.
Without the power.
No
brick.
controller. No, yeah. That was just the console only. It has a 24-hour warranty, too. PS4 looks great. I honestly think people are going to be happy with either console. If you thought I was going to come out and start flaming Sony, I'm not. The PS4 looks amazing. I think no matter which console you buy, you're going to get a great deal. In fact, I pre-ordered the Xbox One. I'm going to keep my pre-order. And
what is it? $500?
It's really expensive. Yeah, it's 500 with tax, $550.
Yeah,
It's a lot of money.
Coinage, man.
It's a lot of money, but I actually never thought I would be so excited about the Kinect either. And I don't care about the Kinect gaming. I think the stuff they're doing with, like, this thing's amazing, man. I mean, when you see demos of what they're able to do with this thing now, it can tell depth perception. It can read your pulse by like the micro fluctuations in color in your face.
Right.
It's an incredible it's an incredible machine. It's way different than Kinect version 1.
So, are you hearing stuff like there's people that are wary of this as far as like they're going to use Kinect to serve up ads. That's what it's going to be used for.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that.
Because like they could tell if you're hungry.
They can tell if you're happy. They can tell if you're paying attention or not.
Yeah. So like I mean that's
it's
the kind of thing. That
really crazy. I wonder if they broadcast any of the demos. What are you saying?
They could use that, for ad purposes. They could also. What was another argument I was hearing? Oh, like if say something went down in your house, like a crime, if that camera is on, can they subpoena that camera?
Well, now,
that
let's
kind of
back
stuff?
up for a moment. The Xbox camera is not on. Like, when your Xbox is off, the camera is off, but it is listening for you to say Xbox on. That's the only command it's listening for.
Okay.
And then once you say that, the camera then comes on. By the way, you can turn all that stuff off. And they've said that several times in multiple interviews, but people only hear what they want to hear. So you turn all that stuff off, and yes, the Kinect does need to be connected, but it's not on, and it doesn't do anything, and the camera's not on, it's not listening, the audio isn't on, nothing's working on it, it's just plugged in, because the Xbox requires it to be plugged in.
Okay, see, that's good that you cleared that up, because like you said, people hear what they want to hear, or they'll make things up,
Yeah.
I listen to this podcast, and basically they're pretty hardcore PlayStation guys, and so they're just kind of like speculating like all the things that it could be doing.
Sure.
But that's the same argument that we could say about like is this camera on your iPad right now? Like
I saw a guy.
Is that going somewhere right now?
No joke. I saw a guy with a piece of tape over the
I've seen
camera
people
on
do
his
that.
laptop. I mean,
that's some like tinfoil hat shit right there.
yeah, that's the guy who's like Mel Gibson in that movie.
Mel Gibson in real life, yeah.
yeah, it's just in real life. And do you remember when he had his whole apartment wired? What movie was this?
Ransom?
I think it was Ransom. It was
Lethal
the movie with
Weapon
Patrick Stewart.
2.
I don't think it was that one. I mean, you could say that about any camera. Some of the things I heard people say, I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. People are using this as an argument.
It's just this like early talk, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like once it's out there, and people are just gonna see the branding from then on out. They're not gonna be dissecting it the way it is because it's too vague right now.
That was their big problem. Everything was too vague, and they needed to get ahead of this. You know what they should have done? They should have put their Xbox president, Don Matrick, IEB president. They should have put him on YouTube and done a Q&A and been like, you ask us whatever you want, and we're going to answer every single one of your questions.
That would have been good.
And get all this crap out of the way so that you actually know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because there was an Xbox engineer, he wasn't verified, but he went on to a website and basically went through all the different features and explained why they were doing those things and how those things were going to work. And the reception was a 180. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, like that actually seems pretty cool. Oh, that's a really cool feature. Oh, I'm not nearly as angry now as I was before because now I see what you're trying to do. They need to put this guy in the marketing department because he explained in one concise, it was probably like 1 or 2 page document, everything that Microsoft was trying to do with the Xbox, and the reception to it was totally different. People were very open to it, and not everyone thought it was cool, but a lot more people were like, oh, this actually makes a lot of sense.
It's so funny, like the complete difference between Microsoft, where they're like, we hear you and we're trying to do it. You're like, they really are trying to listen. And Apple, where it's like they'll just make it and then they'll be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's a famous Q&A interview where Steve, they're asking him all these questions about like, what do you think about Android doing blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, you know what? At the end of the day, like we try to make great products, and if our customers like it, they'll buy it. And if they don't, they won't.
Yeah, right.
And that's how we
like,
know.
That's how we make a product, right?
That's how we know the product is going well and we should do it or not. We don't have... Because I mean, we know this kind of stuff. We make products, and we know that when you put every the smorgasbord of everything on the table for anyone to just add or contribute an idea, you get a big ball of bullshit. You know,
Yeah.
Like you have to be focused in what you're gonna put out. You know.
Yeah, you'll end up with the Homer car.
Yes, exactly.
Sometimes democracy is not the way.
Yeah.
It's just not the way. So I'm disappointed. I think that Microsoft was trying to give us a car, and gamers got all in arrears and said, we don't want a car, we just want a faster horse. And that's what they got. They're getting a faster horse. They're getting exactly what they had before. It's just a little faster.
Henry Ford.
Which, by the way, is what you're getting with PlayStation 4. There's nothing revolutionary about it. Nothing really that special about it that wasn't already in
Yeah, it's just
existence
kind of
on
like
PlayStation
another
3.
bump up, right?
All they did at their E3 press conference was come out and say, we're going to give you games on discs. And everyone went, woo!
Yeah.
And we're going to not limit your game sales. Everyone went, ah! And people were pinching their nipples and stuff in ecstasy. But there's nothing revolutionary about that console. Not one thing. The only thing I saw that was even remotely unique was that pad that goes on top of their controller, which they didn't show how it would work or what you would do with it. And other than that...
That's what I think, too. I mean, we know way more, I think, about Xbox than we know about PlayStation, right?
PlayStation didn't do anything.
Okay.
In their E3
Well, then maybe I just thought I
press
missed
event.
something because
No,
I didn't
you
see
didn't.
anything.
PlayStation did not do anything. All they did is come out and be the anti-Microsoft company, and then everyone was cheering for it. But I really do wonder how well each console sold, because those are numbers obviously you can't really know. But you know, GameStop had announced that they had already sold out before Microsoft ever came out and did the 180. They'd announced that they actually didn't announce this. There was a memo that they were out of pre-orders. They were done. They didn't have any more units to sell. I'm sure Microsoft was limiting those. But it seemed to me like the Xbox One was selling well, and so was the PlayStation 4. But to me, the argument that you're going to switch consoles is so asinine. I mean, for some people, they may not care, but there's a lot of games that are only going to be on one system and not on the other. So I'm like, oh, you're going to just switch game libraries and...
Yeah. Just like your tastes are going to change.
Yeah, my
to
tastes
something
are just
else.
totally going to... I used to love Halo, but I don't care about Halo anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to play something else on PlayStation 4. It's like, really? Is that what you're going to do? Give me a break.
Is that what you're going to do?
A lot of people... I would always ask people when they were making an argument about how crappy the Xbox One was, which system they pre-ordered. Because, you know what? I put my money down. I made a decision. I put my money down.
Good point.
And I'm like, I'm all in. And then I would talk to people, and I'm like, which system did you order? Oh, neither. I'm fine with what I have.
Yeah. Then shut up.
Then shut up. It's
Yeah.
like for those of us who are putting our money down and actually care enough to spend money, you know, you're ruining it for us.
Yeah.
Like if you're not going to buy either anyway, it's like you're just...
It's like the argument I had last week about people downloading iOS 7 and then bitching about it. And it's like, it's not helping anything. You're just like, you just want to be vocal and annoying about it.
People do. And myself included, you know, I do it too. It's easy to be a cynic. And it's easy to be a critic. And
Didn't we start a thing about no cynics ever again?
Our No Cynics Club?
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's going to work, though. I think we need to close it.
Come on.
Yeah, no, man.
Yeah, you're right. That was a dumb idea.
That was a dumb idea. Gosh, what were we thinking? That was so stupid.
God.
Let's move on, shall we?
Okay. We get to a lighter topic.
Yeah, what do you mean? That was lighthearted.
All right.
I've been wanting to talk about this. I was smoldering. I was so angry.
Oh, this.
I was pissed
I
about
thought you were
this
talking
Xbox
about this video
thing.
we're going to watch.
No, actually.
Make that full screen.
I will. So, wait, this is our next topic, right? Yeah,
let's just do it in the middle.
Let's just do it in the middle. So,
Make sure it's volumes up.
we got a new trailer from this Ashton Kutcher Steve Jobs movie,
For Jobs.
for which I'm sure is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Do you want to hold it a little higher?
Yeah, so we're going to watch it real fast. Can
All
you
right.
see it?
Is volume going to be cool on that?
I think so.
Just crank it. All right, go for it.
It's going to be PG-13.
Okay.
Steve, it takes guts to drop out like you did.
Higher education comes at the expense of experience.
Boss!
What are you working on?
It's a computer terminal that hooks up to the TV for the display.
Steve.
These are state of the art. Nobody's making anything like this. All right, okay.
Welcome to Apple Computer.
Is this everything?
Startup.
I think we should start with around 90 grand. Could you repeat that? If you'll have me aboard. Trust me, on my INDEPENDENT.
Apple Incorporated went public this morning.
Chasing dreams since I was 14. Y'all can't stop me.
We gotta make the small things
Unforgettable.
Typeface isn't a pressing issue.
get out.
He's trying to start a war with IBM.
Steve's been doing the impossible ever since he was in a garage.
I'm trying to build an Apple, and they're taking it away from me.
If you keep heading down this path, I will not protect you. It's a blatant ripoff.
I'm gonna sue you for every cent.
You are your own worst enemy.
The board is unanimous. Steve will no longer be involved in this company.
10 years after Steve Jobs' departure, the future of Apple Computer is in jeopardy. In life, you only get to do so many things.
We're gonna make Apple cool again. Here's to the crazy ones. The misfits. The rebels. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
I'm glad they got rid of the
If
lowercase
we're gonna
j.
do this thing, we need to come up with a name. Apple. That is so much better than phaser beam computers.
Oh, August 16th, huh?
Yeah.
So, any new feelings about this now that we've seen the trailer for it?
Yes, Steve Jobs never wore glasses like this. He never wore Bill
Actually-
Gates glasses.
Those are about right.
But I don't know. I think they managed to do a good trailer. I think they
did. It's a good trailer.
I think that they I think we gotta keep focused here that
That it's gonna be bad.
no that
stay
it got
focused.
ridiculously panned.
Yeah.
Right? I
it
mean,
did,
right?
yeah.
They had to chill out on it and
Because the negative press was getting to
the-
be so bad.
Yeah, and then
that's a good point.
they had to wait and make a really really good compelling trailer.
Yeah.
There's been movies that I have gone to see because the trailer was so good. Like I didn't want to see Superman Returns. This is like the Superman before the new one. Mm-hmm. And then I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, okay, never mind. That looks really cool. And I went to see it and it was terrible. And there's been movies like that. They just can do like a really good trailer.
Yeah.
That basically shows the entire movie. It like shows every single key thing about the entire
That's
Steve
probably
Jobs story.
true.
The only thing I worry about is that this is going to be, hopefully it's not super popular because like if it's getting all these facts wrong, the general public is just going to be like, oh, that Ashton Kutcher Steve Jobs movie is like, that's how it really went down.
It's like the Social Network.
Yeah, and exactly. But I don't know. I just think like, so part of me is kind of like, oh, it's kind of cool because I haven't seen. You've never seen a Steve Jobs movie, so it's kind of cool for me for seeing like a new one with like just actors doing that story is cool. But I don't know. I don't know. I just think it might. I just still think it's probably gonna suck. You know.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think your point about it being a good trailer is good. It makes the movie look a lot better than the trailers I've seen before. I'm still gonna see it, but I think the problem is, for me, Ashton Kutcher does kind of look like Steve Jobs, but as soon as I hear him speak, it pulls me out of the story because I'm like, that's Ashton Kutcher, and that's Kelso from that '70s show. And actually, it's funny. One of the comments, I almost took a picture of it and sent it to you, was the guy saying Ashton Kutcher looks like Steve Jobs, but he's Kelso from the '70s show, and that's kind of like the role he's good at.
Yeah.
And that goofy role is kind of what I can't get that out of my mind. When I see him act, that's what I think of.
Yeah.
So it doesn't keep me in the story. It
You're
just
right.
pulls me out all the time.
Yeah, because the whole time, everybody who just watched that, you were thinking Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, probably.
Except for the set design. I mean, think about it. You weren't just like, oh, I never seen that. Oh, I never seen that. Like, you were just thinking, like, he's there.
Yeah,
right?
it's Ashton Kutcher doing that. It's Ashton Kutcher doing that.
But with, like, other movies that you think of that where it was a biopic, that sort of, like, went away if they were good. Like, something like Ray or something like that, right? You're not thinking the whole stupid time it's Jamie Foxx,
Oh,
right?
yeah, that was an amazing movie.
Yeah.
That was really a good movie. Yeah, so I think he kind of had a tough role ahead of him. I don't think he was the best choice for this role.
He just has that weird energy where it's like...
He's Kelso from that Sony show.
That's
yeah.
not Steve, right?
Guys!
Yeah.
Burn! We gotta go after IBM!
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like our thing's about to die. Let's see if we can go to the very end, though.
Okay.
Our mixer is telling us that our sound's gonna quit soon. So I'm still gonna see it, but it doesn't... It does actually make me
We'll see
a
it
little
together.
bit... We should see it together.
Yeah.
It does make me a little bit more excited for it. Because it doesn't look like it's going to suck as much as I thought it was going to suck.
Yeah.
But I'm still expecting it to just kind of be bad.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a pessimist. I can never get down on something that much before I see it. But I try to. Like, I mean, like the Avengers trailer made me excited to go see the Avengers, and it was good. So there's still hope. But like I mean, nobody saw the Avengers and then panned the shit out of it, and then they had to
Yeah.
make a cool trailer.
I wonder
right?
if they re-edited the movie or if they just put it on the shelf.
What are they gonna do? Go bring them in and do reshoots? I mean, come on.
I really don't know. I mean, I think it's weird if the movie's exactly the same.
If Steve Wozniak tells you it's not good, he's
That's
not
true.
usually a not
That
nice
guy is like
guy.
a serial optimist, you know? Like,
Yeah.
He really is. So that was the funny thing. When I saw that Woz didn't like it, it really kind of framed it for me that this movie was going to be kind of a Rotten Tomato.
Yeah.
Because that guy always has the nicest things to say. Like, you never hear him say anything bad.
Yeah.
And then he comes out of that, he's like, oh, that was horse crap. He didn't say that. At least not in my, not to my knowledge. But he wasn't a fan.
Okay, let's do our last topic.
Okay, so let's wrap up with Instagram
Doing video.
doing video now.
Yeah.
And you know, when I first heard this, I wasn't really all that enthused. I was like, oh, okay, great. Another video, application. But then I used it, and dude, it's really good.
You like it?
I like it a lot. It's way better than Vine, I think.
Really?
I think it's fantastic.
Wow.
They hit some features that Vine doesn't have.
Yeah.
That really make it useful. And also, I think probably my favorite thing is, we've talked about this before.
What's that?
You use an app, you use a social network, whatever you use, and you have to build a whole nother system of I follow you, you follow me, right?
Sure.
There's a whole set of all that followers thing that has to happen all over again. Instagram, you already have it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be implemented with Facebook, I'm sure, very well at some point. So I think it's great that you don't have to actually go out and get a whole new set of friends.
I think we might have to just talk about this one because this has no more space on it. So.
Oh. Well, I can film you.
Nah, it'll be
You
a hassle.
can't do anything.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Unless you. Well, I guess you could send that to me. Dropbox it.
Dropbox what?
The video that you take on the phone.
Oh, but how are we going to show them how it works?
On my phone.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Except we won't probably be able to take a video.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, yeah. Actually, this might not work, you guys.
You like our high-tech show that we have here?
So...
We can use my iPad video, but it will look...
like ass?
That's going to look like the cutscenes from the Jobs movie. It's going to be that bad.
It's okay. Basically, this will be an audio thing. We'll just talk about it. I don't know. I'm not really that stoked about it, to be honest.
Why?
Because I like Instagram. I like browsing Instagram for photos, not videos. Mm-hmm. Right? Like I don't like that it's in my activity feed.
So that's the part you don't like about it.
Yeah. I don't like that it's in my activity feed. I like going to Instagram to be able to like peruse beautiful photography or what my friends are up to, but I don't want to stumble onto video that auto plays and it's really long. 15 seconds is a long time to consume something. 6 seconds is a good amount of time in my opinion. And they actually they found out that the average time to read a tweet is 6 seconds, and that's why they came up with that
Oh,
time.
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's two different philosophies. Obviously, one's Facebook, one is Twitter. So one's very short, one repeats, one doesn't, right? Instagram doesn't auto repeat or anything like that. The one thing, I don't know, that's one thing I'm like, maybe I'll get used to it, but I kind of wish they almost had like a different tab for video or something. So I turned off the autoplay because I was getting really
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, you can turn
that
off.
I'm definitely turning that off too. I don't want videos to autoplay.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying. And like, I think they look like crap because they put filters on them and they look like total poo.
Oh man, see, I like the filters.
And then, so it's good that we both have a different opinion. The other thing that so this is something that's probably just going to sound really old in a month or two, but so when Vine came out, I was really, we had seen Kevin Rose post Vines before Vine was officially out.
Months
right?
before, yeah.
And so we were wondering, like, I was wondering at least, like, how is he doing this video thing where it's auto queuing, like it's auto doing a new clip, and it's like stitching them together? Because at this point, video was done by like hit video, and then your camera starts taking a video, and then you turn it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Video's an on and an off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden Vine comes out, and when he was doing, I was like, is it like telling him a countdown so when he's gonna go, or like how the hell is it doing that? And then when it came out and it was like, oh, every time you touch the screen it does a burst of video, I was like, that's fucking brilliant. I was like, that's great. Like, that's a really smart feature. It takes down the barrier to make quick digestible videos, rather than like video or social cam. Like the difference between you doing like a video of like somebody riding their bike, you have to click it and it's going like one consistent long video, okay, whatever, 10 seconds, and it's over, right? It's not that compelling, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you did the same thing but you were doing it from different angles, and you had, because every time you tap the screen it's doing a burst of video, I'm like, that changes everything. You can get a perception of where the person is in the room, you can do like stop motion with it, you can do all sorts of cool stuff with it. And I was like, that's innovative, that's an invention.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram comes along and takes it exactly the way that it works.
Well, they added a button.
Yeah. They added an erase feature, which
Yes.
a lot of people like. Oh, hold on. But I just think that now it's no longer going to be seen as an app invention or feature. It's just going to be standardized like menus on a computer or double clicking on a mouse. It's just going to be like a normal thing, you touching the screen to record every time. And I just think that sucks. I mean, I know computers rip off computer ideas all over.
I wonder if they obviously didn't patent the way it
But
works.
I just think it sucks because I think that was like a killer feature that made you want to open up and use Vine.
Yeah, that's true.
And now you don't have to because somebody came along and
Actually,
took it.
I take that back. It probably is patented. I bet you anything that the reason Instagram didn't do that is because they can't.
What do you mean they did do that?
Well, they made you hit a button.
Yeah, but it's the same idea.
Yeah, but Vine lets you tap anywhere on the screen. It's a lot easier to do that than it is to hit a button.
Actually, arguably, I'd say theirs is better because it's a big button. And why do you need to tap the screen? You need to tap the screen to focus, and Instagram lets you do that.
That's actually a good point.
So it's kind of like one of those things where in the future we're not going to care because everybody wins, right?
Yeah,
but
it's just like pull to refresh, right?
Yeah, it's just a little.
Everyone stole that.
It's just a little annoying in my opinion because I liked Vine and I currently still like the Vine community, but now it's like, well, you can do that on Instagram. It doesn't matter, right? So like I like the fact that you don't have to rebuild your social network because let's face it, there's only like a few people that are really big on Vine, and even if they're big on Vine, they're bigger on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So I like that, and these are all personal opinions because I'm going to use both because I have a company that operates on social media and I have to, and I'm going to use them to the best of my advantages. And I think people like it because I posted a video and I got like more followers from just posting stupid videos. So like
on Instagram?
Yeah.
It's probably because people like seeing like actual movement. It's so different than just one photo.
It is, I guess, I don't know. I guess maybe I have to see how it goes in the next whatever. Like I follow this model and I wish I didn't know how she spoke. Like now I'm just
really?
Yeah. So I think I have heard that people.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
I just finished doing a shoot.
Yeah.
And I'm really tired. You're like, oh, I wouldn't have guessed you were a baritone.
But yeah, I think that I don't know. What else do you think about it?
Okay, so I love it. I love it.
What do you think about those opinions though?
I think those are all valid. I guess the reason I love it is a lot of the reasons that you don't love it. Like, that tap to record feature is brilliant, and it's going to be everywhere. Everyone's going to use it. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I hope Twitter makes some money off of it, though, because that's a piece of technology that, you're right, didn't exist beforehand. Yeah. And, well, it existed for photos. I mean, you could turn your phone into a big photo button and take photos that way. So, in a way, Twitter kind of borrowed from that.
How did you what?
You know, there's some apps that when you set your phone up to take a photo, you can just tap anywhere on the screen.
Oh, I wasn't so much as the tapping thing. I was saying like the recording in chunks.
Yes,
you know?
that's totally unique.
Yeah.
And a great idea. Very, very, very good idea.
And very responsive. Like people take videos where they're like da 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 da, and it like staggers.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. I guess for me, the thing I like about Instagram, as I said, is that you don't have to rebuild your social network.
Yeah.
The other thing is that delete feature is killer. One of the things I hate about Vine, and they'll probably fix this, is the fact that there's just no redos. You know, it's like you record something, and if you mess up that one segment, you have to restart the entire video. That sucks.
I wonder why like that doesn't bother me. I feel like maybe I don't put a lot of. Do you put like a ton of effort into your video where you're
some of them I do.
Oh man,
yeah.
I ruined it if I didn't capture
Yeah,
it.
sometimes I'm very particular about my shots, and if I don't like it,
I have another opinion.
There's so many videos that I've created already, and I'm like, I don't want to post this yet. I'm still kind of learning how to do this well, so I just don't post them.
Yeah, see, I feel like I talked to Chris Perillo not that long ago, and I was like, how come you don't use Vine?
Yeah.
And he's just basically a lot of those reasons. He's like, I hate it. You can't redo things, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't know. I always think of it as like this very lightweight, quick and dirty thing. I don't think of it as like a premeditated, like I need to like create this whole scene, like composition, like a photographer or something.
I don't think I need to do that either, but I am a photographer, so I probably get in that mindset a little bit.
Yeah.
I just want to create something that's worthy to be posted online. I just don't want to.
What? You
I
use
do.
Twitter. You
Yeah.
use Twitter.
So
Come on.
that's what I have Twitter for.
Dude,
just to
come
post
on.
anything I want.
Like we put BS in the wind all day long on Twitter.
Yeah, but it's different when you're just saying something as opposed to showing different scenes. I don't know. I just it's not like it's not even like I'm trying to do something magnificent. I just kind of feel like I'm learning like how to do it well. And until I do, I don't want to just be like, "Hey guys, here's my lunch." Like that's just not me.
Here's another thing about the Instagram thing. So I follow photographers, right? And now all of a sudden they take great photography, great video, or great beautiful shots. Their videos are terrible. Like it's not the same thing, right?
It's not the same thing. It's a totally different art form.
It's a totally different art form. So now you're getting these people who used to be like really great at their photography or whatever, and now they're trying to do like this shitty stop motion and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, oh my god.
See, which is funny because you just were like, that's exactly what I was just saying. It's like I want to put some time into learning how to do this well.
I'm specifically following these people for their art. I'm not following Erfan or Amanda for art. I'm following you for
You've
just
seen
what
my
are you
art.
doing? You know?
Yeah, right. But some people, there's probably people that follow me for different reasons. My Instagram account is a big mix. Sometimes I post photos of cool things. Sometimes I just like
You barely post anything.
these days. Yeah,
I want you to step up and start doing video because you love it. You
I
love
do.
it, so I want you to start using it.
Yeah, but I gotta figure out how to do it well.
See, you're not gonna use it.
I played with it for an hour yesterday and finally got the video exactly how I wanted it. And then I uploaded it. Freaking Instagram only processed. I've actually had this problem twice now.
Yeah, it's buggy right now.
Half the video only got uploaded, and it didn't make any sense because it cut off in the middle. So I deleted it because I was like, this is crap. Like I spent like 45 minutes making a video, and I was learning what I was doing. I wasn't just trying to like angle everything perfectly. But finally got it finished, and I was like, okay, cool. I'll just post this, and only half of it got uploaded. I made another video the other day that I really liked, and I was excited to posted it, and it never actually went up at all. Instagram just said processing, and finally I had to quit the app.
That's what I've heard. I've only done one video, and it was like 5 seconds long. It was really short, and I was just like, what do you think? And then people wrote what they thought.
I saw that one.
But I don't know. I really, I'm hopeful for the Vine community because I think I've been diving more into it. I think there's a lot of creative people who see the limitations of it and can thrive within those confines.
Yes.
Right? And I think that's really cool. Whereas I just think Instagram's a different thing, you know? I mean, it's a different thing for its video features because it's 15 seconds. It's a long time. And I think it's a long time when you're sitting there and you're normally used to just quickly scanning. Oh, is that cool? Oh, stop. Oh, that's cool. And then you stop and then you have to sit there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
On board already.
6,
Move on.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Yeah.
12.
They have to
13,
figure out a way to
14,
make it
15.
interesting.
That's fucking long.
They have to figure out a way to make it interesting. I mean, if you're just filming your chicken soup for 15 seconds,
Yeah.
then yeah, that's really boring. But there's a way to make a 15-second video interesting. I mean, my gosh, it's 15 seconds,
No,
right?
but it's long.
It's 15 seconds.
It's long in the context of quickly scrolling.
In that context, but context is everything. I mean, a minute video is short, and now we're saying 15 seconds is too long?
Because you're used to looking at still fucking photos,
That's
dude.
true. That's why I'm saying the people that do it have to really figure out how to make the video interesting, or people just aren't going to care.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I just think right now we're in this like weird area where it was like, oh, I was a dope photographer and now I have to do video. It's almost like the NPR thing where we're talking about where it's like somebody's an NPR reporter, but now they have to be a videographer.
Yes,
and now
that's
they have to be
true.
a this and that, right? Like look at With Hearts. Now he's gonna have to do cool looking video.
But he doesn't have to do video.
He doesn't have to. But what if he got way more followers for doing video, right?
I don't know. Maybe he's not interested in just getting more followers.
You
I
should
don't
have him
know.
on the show and ask him what he thinks.
Yeah, we need to have him back on.
Anyway, we should probably wrap up before we cut out.
Yeah, our audio is about to die.
Any last
thoughts? It's not the size of your Schwartz that matters, but how you use it.
Okay. Is that from Anchorman?
No. Hey, you, fat face. You stay classy. That's so funny. No, that was from Spaceballs.
Oh, good one.
Do you want to close with something profound? Say something funny. Say something funny.
Follow me on Instagram.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Afro Boy.
Well, let's talk about that. So I'm at Aerofon on Instagram and also at Aerofon on Twitter, and you are
At Roberto Hoyos, and that's spelled RobertoHoyos.
It's like a little song.
We are on a lot of different places you can
Sure
consume
are.
us. iTunes.
Consume us.
You can just you can search for us on iTunes, user friendly, and we will pop right up. Leave us a nice review,
Please.
We actually have a couple new ones that we should read, but we'll do that next time.
Yeah.
And then we can find our show on YouTube. It's youtube.com/userfriendlyshow, facebook.com/userfriendlyshow, and airfun.com/userfriendlyshow.
And by the way, we have audio and video now. And if you're listening, sorry the show was late. We knew it was going to be late. We were having some technical difficulties. I forgot my MacBook charger.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to get this video out a little later in the week. But isn't it worth it? Didn't the wait just make it all the sweeter?
Yeah.